This is Ravindra Babu. Welcome back to my channel Silver 90s BioNet. In this video, we will be talking about the discovery of DNA. Nothing but the historical background in the process of the discovery of DNA or the elucidation of the detailed chemical structure of DNA. In this process, the first attempt was made by a scientist called Frederick Miescher in the year 1869. Here, he found that some acidic substances present in the nucleus. To those acidic substances, he has given the name nuclein. Nucleins are the acidic substances present in the nucleus. And later, in the year 1880, a scientist called Emil Fischer, he identified that these nucleins are having nitrogenous bases. These nitrogen bases are the purines and pyrimidines. And after Emil Fischer, in the year 1899, a scientist called Albert Kossel, he identified that this nuclein, along with this nitrogenous bases, it also consists of a phosphoric acid or a phosphate group of nucleotide and a pentose sugar. Nothing but you know very well that a nucleotide consists of three chemical components that are nitrogenous bases, phosphoric acids and pentose sugars. And after Albert Kossel, in the year 1912, a scientist called Altman, who coined the term nucleic acids to these acidic substances. He coined the term nucleic acids. Followed by, in the year 1937, there were two scientists called Feilgen and Rosenbeck. They developed a protocol to stain the DNA molecule. Actually, they wanted to know the position of DNA molecule in the nucleus, so that here they conducted this DNA staining procedure by using a stain called Feilgen stain. This Feilgen stain is in pink color, so that it imparts the pink color to the DNA molecule. By identifying the more pink color in the nucleus, they came to a conclusion that the most of the nucleic acids are present in the nucleus. That is a contribution of Feilgen and Rosenberg. And after this Feilgen and Rosenberg, in the next year 1938, a scientist called William Asbury, he made X-ray crystallographic studies on DNA molecule. X-ray crystallographic studies on DNA molecule. By his X-ray crystallographic studies, he came to a conclusion that DNA is a polymer of nucleotides, and here nucleotides are arranged in a stack, one above the other, like this. Nucleotides are arranged in stack in a polynucleotide chain. These nucleotides are perpendicular to the long axis of a DNA molecule. And one more thing is, the distance between the adjacent nucleotides is about 3.4 angstroms. These are the conclusions of William Asbury. What are they? DNA is a polynucleotide chain and nucleotides are arranged in stacks, and these nucleotides are perpendicular to the long axis of DNA, and the internucleotide distance is measured about 3.4 angstroms. After this, William Asbury, in the year 1945, a scientist called Morris Wilkins continued the X-ray crystallographic studies made by William Asbury, and he also did X-ray diffraction studies. X-ray diffraction studies on DNA molecule and obtained X-ray diffraction images of a DNA molecule. After Maurice Wilkins in the year 1953, one of his associate, her name is Rosalind Franklin. Rosalind Franklin. Here she made super X-ray diffraction studies on DNA molecule. By her super X-ray diffraction studies, she confirmed that the internucleotide length of a DNA molecule is about 3.4 angstroms, which was already said by William Asbury. That was a confirmation. Here the experiments of William Asbury, Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin demonstrated that the DNA is a double-stranded molecule, double helical structure like this, and one helical turn measures about 34 angstroms, and the width of a DNA molecule is 20 angstrom. Later in the year 1948, a scientist called Erwin Chargaff, he proposed a rule for the DNA molecule. That rule is the rule of base equivalence. Rule of base equivalence. This rule of base equivalence says that the amount of purines present in a DNA molecule is always equals to the amount of pyrimidines. Nothing but the ratio of purines and pyrimidines in a DNA molecule is 1:1. What are the purines? A plus G are equal to T plus C. To this rule of base equivalence, we can also express in another way, that is the ratio of purines and pyrimidines is always equals to 1 or constant. We can express like this: A plus G by T plus C is equals to 1. We can also express as the ratio of adenines and thymines is always equals to 1, or the ratio of guanines and cytosines is also always equals to 1. How? Let me explain this. So this is a double-stranded DNA molecule. This double-stranded DNA molecule is having the sequence of nucleotides like this: A, C, T, G, A, T, C, like this. If A comes here on one strand, automatically what comes here on opposite strand? T, right? G, A, C, T, A and G, like this. Okay, let us count the number of purines. What are the purines? Adenine and guanine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, 7 are the guanines, right? Sorry, 7 are the purines. How many pyrimidines are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 by 7 equals to 1. Let us come here. How many adenines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 adenines are there. How many thymines are there? Again 4 equals to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let us come to here. How many guanines are there? 1, 2 and 3. 3 are the guanines and 3 are the cytosines equals to 1. This is what the rule of base equivalence proposed by Erwin Chargaff for the DNA molecule. What it says? It says that the amount of purines are equals to amount of pyrimidines in a DNA molecule, or the ratio of purines and pyrimidines are always equals to 1 or constant. Finally, in the year 1953, the two scientists Watson and Crick constructed a 3D model of DNA. According to them, this 3D model of DNA is a right-handed double helical structure. It is a right-handed double helical structure. So this right-handed double helical structure they called bDNA. What they called? bDNA. Here B stands for biologically important DNA. Biologically important DNA. This is a double stranded DNA molecule, and base pairing occurs between the bases of nucleotides of both strands, okay, through hydrogen bonds. Say this is a base of nucleotide of this strand, and this is the base of nucleotide of this strand. Between these two, hydrogen bonds will form to form a base pair, pair. And later in the year 1959 around, Francis Crick proposed a central dogma of molecular biology. What he proposed? The central dogma of molecular biology. Here, this central dogma of molecular biology states that the flow of genetic information always occurs from DNA to proteins via mRNA, and this is proteins. Okay. Here DNA makes its own copy through the process called replication. This is what a replication, and this DNA, by undergoing a transcription, it forms mRNA later by undergoing a translation to form a protein molecule. Protein, by undergoing some conformational changes, it will become an enzyme. That enzyme involves in a particular biochemical reaction of a metabolism, so that it expresses as a character in the organism. This is proposed by Francis Crick in the year 1959. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.